Welcome, the spicy lady. The hardest truth to accept is not that you are different. It is that your heart was never built to live like everyone else. Some women spend years wondering why they feel so out of place. They care deeply, forgive too much, notice things that others ignore, and carry emotional weight that was never theirs to carry. People often mistake this for weakness. But what if it is actually a sign of something much greater? The idea of being an angel is not about having wings or being perfect. It is about the quiet way you protect others without being asked. It is about feeling another person's pain as if it were your own. It is about choosing kindness when bitterness would be easier and walking away from what damages your spirit even when your heart wants to stay. Many spicy Lady Sigma spend their lives questioning these parts of themselves because the world rewards loud personalities more than quiet strength. They try to become tougher, colder, or less caring only to discover that denying their true nature leaves them feeling empty. I end this video. We will uncover the deeper reasons why accepting your inner angel is not a weakness, but one of the greatest strengths you will ever discover. Some of these truths may completely change the way you see yourself. So stay with me until the very end because the final point could explain something you have felt your entire life, but never had the words to describe. Now, let's get started. Point 1. They become a safe harbor for the right people not because they solve every problem, but because they offer honesty without judgment and support without control. Point 1. Of the most beautiful things about a spicy Lady Sigma is that people often feel safe around her without fully understanding why.it has nothing to do with having all the answers or being able to fix every situation. In fact, she knows that not every problem has a quick solution. What she offers is something much rarer. She gives people a place where they can be real without feeling embarrassed or judged. Think about how many people spend their days pretending everything is fine. They smile at work, laugh with friends, and tell everyone they are doing great, even when they are quietly falling apart inside. Then they meet someone who simply listens, someone who does not interrupt, someone who does not rush to give advice after hearing only half the story. That kind of presence is becoming rare, and many spicy Lady Sigma have it naturally. Imagine a friend who has just lost a job. Most people immediately start throwing out ideas or comparing the situation to their own experiences. A spicy Lady Sigma is more likely to ask, "How are you really holding up?" Then she listens with genuine interest. Sometimes those few words mean more than an hour of advice. She also understands that supporting someone does not mean controlling their choices. She does not pressure people into living the way she would live. She respects that everyone has their own journey and their own lessons to learn. She can disagree with someone and still care deeply about them. That balance is not easy to find. This is why people often return to her during the hardest seasons of their lives. They know they will receive honesty instead of empty comfort. If she believes someone is making a mistake, she will say it with kindness instead of cruelty. She tells the truth because she cares, not because she wants to feel superior at the same time. She has learned an important lesson. Being a safe place for others does not mean carrying everyone on her shoulders. She knows the difference between standing beside someone and living their life for them. That wisdom protects both her peace and the people she cares about. If this sounds like you, never underestimate the value of your presence. In a world where many people are desperate to be heard, your ability to make someone feel seen, respected, and understood is a gift that cannot be measured. Sometimes the greatest difference you will ever make in someone's life is not through grand actions, but through the quiet comfort of being the one person who truly listened. 3. They naturally interrupt cycles of harm without being heroes. They quietly stop gossip, manipulation, cruelty, and unnecessary conflict simply by refusing to participate. A spicy Lady Sigma has a quiet way of breaking unhealthy patterns without making a big announcement about it. She does not wake up thinking she has to save people or fix the world. She simply refuses to become part of things that damage others. That choice alone can change more lives than she realizes. Think about how quickly gossip spreads. One person starts a story, another person adds details, and before long, someone who is not even present has become the center of a conversation they know nothing about. Most people join in because they do not want to feel left out. A spicy Lady Sigma does something different. She changes the subject, stays silent, or walks away. It may seem like a small action, but sometimes all it takes to stop a fire is one person who refuses to add more fuel. The same applies to manipulation. Some people use guilt, fear, or emotional games to get what they want. They expect everyone around them to play along. A spicy Lady Sigma usually sees through those patterns. Instead of arguing or trying to outsmart the manipulator, she simply refuses to play the game. That quiet refusal strips away the very power the manipulator depends on. She also understands that not every disagreement deserves a fight. Imagine two friends arguing over something small. Voices get louder, emotions take over, and both are trying to prove they are right. A spicy Lady Sigma knows that winning an argument is not always the same as protecting a relationship. She speaks calmly, if she speaks at all, and refuses to let anger make decisions for her. One lesson she learns with time is that peace is created by choices, not by luck. Every day offers opportunities to spread negativity or stop it before it grows. Every conversation gives you the chance to build trust or destroy it. Every response can either calm a situation or make it worse. People often underestimate this kind of strength because it is quiet. They think power belongs to the loudest voice in the room. But real influence is often invisible. It lives in the person who refuses to lie, refuses to humiliate others, refuses to encourage division, and refuses to become the very thing they dislike. That is how harmful cycles end, not through dramatic speeches, but through ordinary people making extraordinary choices one moment at a time. 4. They protect more than they possess. A spicy Lady Sigma naturally asks, who needs protection? Before asking, what do I gain? One of the quiet strengths of a spicy Lady Sigma is that she prioritizes protecting people before chasing personal gain. In a world where many relationships are built on benefit and transaction, this way of thinking is incredibly rare. She is not constantly asking, what is in this for me? Instead, she notices who is struggling, who is being treated unfairly, or who simply needs someone to stand beside them. This does not mean she tries to rescue everyone. She understands that people must live their own lives and learn their own lessons. But when she sees someone being taken advantage of or treated with unnecessary cruelty, something inside her refuses to look away. Even if she is the only person willing to speak up, she often will. Imagine a new employee at work being blamed for mistakes they did not make. Many people stay silent to avoid trouble. A spicy Lady Sigma will quietly tell the truth, not for praise, but because she cannot comfortably watch an innocent person carry a burden that is not theirs. Most people will never know she did it, and she is perfectly fine with that. She also protects people in subtle, easy-to-miss ways. She keeps private conversations confidential. She refuses to spread information that could ruin someone's reputation. She notices when a loved one is emotionally exhausted and checks on them before anyone else. She pays attention to overlooked people because she knows the quietest struggles are often the deepest. At the same time, she learns a vital lesson. Protecting others should never mean abandoning herself. Many spicy Lady Sigmas spend years carrying other people's problems while ignoring their own needs. They give away their time, energy, and peace until there is nothing left for themselves. Real wisdom teaches her that she cannot pour from an empty cup. Protection is not always loud or heroic. Sometimes it is choosing words that heal instead of wound. Sometimes it is refusing to embarrass someone who made an honest mistake. Sometimes it is simply choosing kindness when everyone else chooses criticism. Her protective instinct is not a flaw to hide. It is the clearest marker of her character. While many people measure success by what they collect and achieve, she quietly measures life by how many people she helps feel safer, stronger, and less alone. In the end, that kind of strength leaves a mark no amount of wealth or recognition can ever replace. 5. They understand love without wisdom creates damage. Helping everyone is not true love. Helping the right people in the right way is one of the hardest lessons a spicy Lady Sigma learns is that a good heart is not enough. Love without wisdom will always leave you drained and exploited. Caring for someone is beautiful, but caring without healthy limits creates more pain than healing. Many people believe helping everyone makes them a good person. It sounds noble, but life teaches a different truth. Not everyone wants to grow. Not everyone appreciates kindness. Some people only seek out kind hearts to offload their own responsibilities, that if you keep rescuing people who refuse to help themselves, you are not changing their lives, you are enabling their stagnation. Think about a friend who constantly borrows money, but never fixes the poor habits that keep them broke. Every time you rescue them, they thank you, but nothing changes. Months later, they return with the same excuses. At some point, your help stops being love and starts being permission for them to avoid accountability. A spicy lady Sigma eventually realizes that real love is not about keeping people comfortable forever. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is let someone face the natural consequences of their own choices. Growth always begins where comfort ends. She becomes intentional with her time and energy. She understands every hour spent trying to save someone who refuses to change is an hour stolen from people who truly value her support and strive to grow. Wisdom teaches her to distinguish between someone who has fallen and wants to rise again and someone who prefers to be carried forever. This does not make her cold or uncaring. It makes her thoughtful. She still loves deeply and helps generously, but her kindness now has direction and boundaries. She gives only where there is honesty, effort, and a genuine desire to improve. The strongest form of love is not always the softest. Sometimes it says no. Sometimes it steps back. Sometimes it lets people learn lessons no amount of advice can teach. That is not cruelty. That is wisdom. When a spicy lady Sigma accepts this truth, she stops measuring love by how much she gives away. She measures it by whether her kindness brings healing instead of dependence, strength instead of weakness, and hope instead of endless rescue. That is the kind of love that changes lives without destroying the person giving it. Point 6. Their forgiveness is constantly misunderstood. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. They can release resentment while permanently closing the door. Point 1 of the most misunderstood traits of a spicy lady Sigma is her ability to forgive without granting someone a second chance. Most people believe true forgiveness means welcoming someone back into your life as if nothing happened. But forgiveness and trust are not the same thing, and confusing the two causes endless unnecessary pain. A spicy lady Sigma understands that holding onto bitterness only keeps old wounds alive. Anger slowly steals your peace, your rest, and your joy. That is why she chooses to let go of resentment. Not because the other person deserves it, but because she deserves freedom from carrying that emotional weight. At the same time, she is wise enough to hold on to the lesson. If someone repeatedly lies, betrays trust, or disrespects her boundaries, she does not pretend it never happened. She accepts the truth of the experience and adjusts her life accordingly. For example, you lend someone money they promise to repay, but they never do. You forgive them to free your heart from anger, but you politely decline their next request for help. That is not revenge. That is wisdom. You forgive the past, but you protect your future. Many people avoid this balance out of fear of being labeled cold or unforgiving. They believe kindness means giving endless chances. But endless chances teach people their actions have no real consequences. Healthy relationships are built on respect, honesty, and accountability. When those things disappear repeatedly, choosing distance is an act of self-respect, not selfishness. This is why a spicy lady Sigma can genuinely wish someone well while choosing never to walk beside them again. She does not seek their failure or plot revenge. She simply accepts that not everyone is meant to stay on her journey. There is quiet strength in closing a door without slamming it. No dramatic speeches, no endless arguments, no need to prove who was right. Just a calm decision to move forward with peace and wisdom. This is true forgiveness, refusing to let past pain control your future. You release the bitterness, keep the lesson, and continue growing clearer and stronger than before. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is forgive completely, smile sincerely, and never look back. 7. They inspire change without seeking followers. People often improve themselves simply because they encountered someone who lives by principles, not appearances. A spicy lady Sigma never sets out to change or influence others. She does not live to convince people to follow her path. Yet incredible things happen. People start reevaluating their own choices just from witnessing her consistent, principled life. There's unshakable quiet power in living authentically, and this kind of influence can never be forced. Most people have met countless people who say all the right things, but live contradicting lives. They preach honesty, but lie when convenient. They talk kindness, but treat people poorly when no one is watching. A spicy Lady Sigma knows words mean nothing without matching actions. She understands people watch what you do far more closely than what you say. Imagine meeting a woman who treats cleaners and CEOs with equal respect. She keeps her promises even when no one is checking. She admits her mistakes instead of making excuses. These seem like small, ordinary acts, but over time, they leave a lasting impression. People begin to wonder why they overcomplicate life, while she keeps it simple, honest, and grounded. The beautiful part? She never asks anyone to copy her. She does not build fan bases or demand agreement. She simply lives true to her values every single day. Ironically, that is exactly what inspires others to become better. Advice is easy to ignore. A genuine example is impossible to forget. When people witness her patience, honesty, courage, and self-respect in everyday moments, they realize those qualities are achievable. Her integrity gives others permission to raise their own standards. She also understands real change cannot be argued into someone. Lasting growth is always a personal choice. Her role is not to push or pressure others. It is to live in a way that quietly reminds people a better path exists. She will never fully know how many lives she touches. A stranger may become more honest because of her example. A friend may leave an unhealthy relationship inspired by her courage. A family member may choose kindness after experiencing it through her. The greatest influence is always the quietest. It does not crave attention or applause. It simply leaves people better than they were before they met you. That is a far greater legacy than having followers. It creates lasting, genuine change instead of temporary admiration. Point 8. They accept they cannot save everyone. Many spicy Lady Sigma exhaust themselves trying to rescue people who are committed to their own destruction. Point 1. Of the most painful yet necessary lessons a spicy Lady Sigma learns is that love cannot change someone who has no desire to change themselves. This truth hurts because her heart is wired to help, heal, and fix. When she sees someone struggling, her first instinct is to improve their situation, not walk away. But there comes a point where helping stops being helpful and starts being harmful to her and to them. Many spicy Lady Sigma spend years believing patience, kindness, and support will eventually wake people up to better choices. Sometimes it works, but more often than not, people stay stuck in their destructive patterns by choice. Think about someone who constantly blames others, rejects advice, ignores growth opportunities, and repeats the same harmful habits. No amount of encouragement, sacrifice, or love will change them because they are comfortable staying stuck. You cannot rescue someone who is content drowning in excuses. People only grow when they choose to take responsibility for their own lives. Until then, no external effort can do the work they refuse to do for themselves. This is why wisdom is just as important as compassion. A caring heart without boundaries ends up carrying burdens that were never meant to be its own. The more she pours into unchanging people, the less energy she has for people who actively strive to grow and appreciate her support. She also realizes constant rescue prevents people from facing the consequences that could finally spark their growth. Sometimes the greatest act of love is letting someone experience the outcome of their own decisions. This is not giving up. This is respecting their free will to choose their path. Accepting this truth is one of her hardest battles because it feels like abandoning someone she cares about. But she learns walking away from unhealthy patterns is not walking away from love. She can still hope, wish well, and care deeply without sacrificing her own peace. The moment a spicy Lady Sigma accepts she cannot save everyone is the moment she stops carrying the weight of lives that were never hers to carry. She finally protects her energy, invests in worthy growth, and understands her purpose is not to rescue every broken person she meets. Her purpose is to shine light. Everyone else must choose whether to step into it. 9. Their presence exposes hidden intention. Some people feel unexplainably uncomfortable around them, and it has nothing to do with her. There is something about a spicy Lady Sigma that makes genuine people feel safe and insecure people feel uneasy. That IT is not that she intimidates others or judges them. She often speaks little and observes much. Yet her honest, integrated presence acts as a mirror for everyone around her. When you live with full integrity, you force people to see themselves clearly. Authentic people relax around her because they have nothing to hide. They do not need to pretend, exaggerate, or wear masks, but inauthentic, manipulative, or dishonest people grow uncomfortable for a simple reason. Her truth highlights their lies. Imagine someone who constantly performs fake confidence and lies to impress others. When they meet a spicy Lady Sigma who is unapologetically real, no pretense, no facade, her authenticity quietly exposes the gap between who they are and who they pretend to be. The same goes for manipulators who rely on confusion, guilt, and emotional games for control. A spicy Lady Sigma sees past charming words and focuses only on actions and patterns. She is not easily fooled by appearances, and this strips manipulation of its power. This does not mean she thinks she is perfect or better than others. Truly authentic people are aware of their own flaws. They simply refuse to build a false image for admiration. She learns never to feel guilty for someone else's discomfort with her honesty. Their unease is not a reaction to her. It is a reaction to the truth her character reflects about themselves. That discomfort belongs to them, not her. Over time, she discovers the right people are irresistibly drawn to her authenticity. They crave her consistency, trustworthiness, and realness. They love that they never have to guess her intentions or navigate emotional games with her. She does not expose hidden intentions through investigation or confrontation. She exposes them simply by living truthfully in a fake world in a society that prioritizes appearances over character. A life built on honesty becomes a mirror that reveals what words never can. Final words. What if the very thing you have spent years trying to change about yourself is actually the source of your greatest purpose? If you saw yourself in these traits, it is time to stop labeling your kindness as weakness, your wisdom as overthinking, and your compassion as a burden. These qualities were never flaws to hide. They were gifts to guide your life and heal the lives of others. Being an angel, being a spicy Lady Sigma, is not about perfection. It is not about never making mistakes or having all the answers. It is about choosing honesty when lying is easier. It is about protecting your peace without hardening your heart. It is about caring deeply while accepting that some people must walk their own path. The world celebrates loud, fast, flashy success. But the people who leave the deepest, most lasting impact are the ones who quietly bring hope, fairness, healing, and wisdom everywhere they go. Their impact cannot always be measured, but it is never forgotten. If you have spent years questioning why your heart loves differently, why you feel deeper, and why you care harder than everyone around you, stop seeing it as brokenness. Start seeing it as your superpower. The moment you accept who you truly are is the moment you stop fighting yourself and start living with unshakable purpose. If this message resonated with you, drop a comment below and share which point hit closest to home. If you love this video, subscribe, and join us for more conversations that redefine strength, authenticity, and what it means to be a powerful, spicy Lady Sigma. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.